some reason I could not find the self-promote like thing in that channel. We're live.
Oh, you ruined it.
Now, me ruin your fun is my enjoyment out of live.
We have nobody watching, so there's no reason to say hi to anybody.
We'll have people watching.
Oh, wait, no, Joey's here. Hey, Joey.
Hello, Joey. No, I am sharing this as well, and all of our regulars as well as viewers will come shuffling in as it were too. Is like, hey, we have some dedicated viewers that and even though we've gone for 2 weeks and stuff like that, they would love to check in with us and catch up with everything. But welcome lasses, then they'd be badasses. It's me, Summer and the Geek, dressing up as our 52. It's like the easiest costume I can think of for
Telstar, maybe Telstar.
Maybe.
Nah, the easiest costume is a former gifted student.
Yeah.
What are you supposed to be? A lot of things.
Let's see. There's going live. Actually, I'll go at everyone instead of at here. Apparently, at here, it's only added people who are active on the Discord. But if you add everyone, then it will send a notification for everyone as well too. So it was I thought they were the same and similar as well. Hello, Metro as well. See, we got 2 viewers now as well. So yes.
So a bit of news. I don't know if you heard. But Chandler Bing is dead.
I heard Matthew Perry died.
He was the actor who played Chandler Bing.
So I did not heard of that news. Oh, yeah. Wow.
He was found dead in his home. All I know that they've released so far is that there was some sort of drowning accident. So, swimming pool, bathtub. He long struggled with substance abuse disorder that may have played a role in it. It could have been he was high or drunk or something, or he could have had a heart attack because substance abuse does a number on your body. Regardless, he died yesterday, and
damn.
He was one of the most popular people in America for about 10 years there.
Yes,
so a lot of people are in mourning. My friend Sarah was devastated by this. So,
Rest in peace, Matthew Perry.
yep.
Another 90s icon has left us.
Mm-hmm. But we know that you won't truly mourn until it's Avril Lavigne.
Well, she was from the 2000s. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Alanis Morissette that's the 90s icon as well.
Yeah, but she's not blonde, so.
Either that or Natalie Merchant. Natalie Merchant.
Okay, yeah, that would be a good one. I picked Alanis Morissette
Hey,
because that's also a white Canadian girl as like Avril Lavigne, but Alanis Morissette's the 90s white Canadian girl, while it's Avril Lavigne's the 2000s one.
I mean, I know their show was set in San Francisco, but are the Olsens Canadian?
I think they're American.
I think they're American.
Yep, they're American. Born in Southern California.
Well, duh, because how else are they going to be acting if they're acting from 3 years old or for babies as well?
Oh, how is Bryan Adams going to be a musician if he's from Vancouver?
Well, I guess maybe they can have been born in
Wow,
Canada.
the Olsen family is fucking huge.
I'm not surprised, honestly.
There's the twins, there's Elizabeth, and there's a Trent and a Jake and a David and a Jarnett.
Now the question is are all those performers and actors and entertainers in the Hollywood industry or something?
No, I don't think so. Well, I mean, Jake is posing in front of a board, looks like he's on a red carpet. But Trent, oh, he deserves the name Trent. I'm sorry, Trent. He's wearing a trucker cap at an angle. I shouldn't make fun. I will, though.
So yeah. Well, yeah, we haven't been.
What else has happened in the 2 weeks that I was lying in bed and occasionally getting up to go to the bathroom and
We're committing
void my entire soul into the toilet?
we're committing a genocide.
We
Whoa,
are
what?
assisting in committing a genocide for sure.
Is this Ukraine or
No,
Benatar? But no, that's 80s. We were talking 90s, old guy. What's this about a genocide?
We, the United States government and the UK government, Mithril can definitely attest to this, are insisting in the genocide against the Palestinian people because of like, well, here's the thing: it's an ongoing genocide.
Of course,
it's,
just like our genocide against the Native Americans. Joey.
Yeah.
Yes. Sorry, Joey.
Except we're a bit more active in Palestine than we are in the Midwest.
Yes, we are. We are right now. That I haven't like.
Oh, no wonder a couple of people, when I shared that meme, got really pissed off. Good bomb, bad bomb. Let's see. Bomb, just a bomb that's unlabeled. Bad bomb has a Russian flag on it. Okay bomb has a British flag on it. Good bomb, Ukrainian flag. Very good bomb, American flag. You're anti-Semitic if you question this bomb, Israeli flag. A couple of people got really pissed off. A couple other people dived in to defend the meme. And I just said, you know what? Fuck it. If you're going to defend them, I don't really care. I said what I said.
Yeah, if you're anti-Semitic, you're questioning like the Israeli government as well too, but like I think Metro can attest to this because I definitely heard it on like white Canadian girls. It's like well, Celine Dion, yes for sure. I say Taylor, do you like?
I can't
Celine
touch.
Dion?
I'm torn.
I like her from Titanic. That's
She wasn't even in Titanic.
She.
My mom loves that song. And yes, Contest Rush, Russian Contest Rush. Yes, we did mention it about the last four set. It's like
Yes,
90s
yes.
white Canadian girl as well too. And yeah,
But she's a bit too grunge for Isaiah. He likes him a
honest,
little bit more. He likes mall girls. Look at the poster behind his head. He likes Clueless. And Avril Lavigne. I mean, Avril Lavigne pretends to be punk. I don't know if she's really punk. I haven't listened to her music in a really long time, if I ever did.
I mean, punk like maybe
She's Hot Topic.
yeah, Hot Topic.
Yeah.
Like a little bit there, not punk, but like the scene.
It's Spencer's Gifts punk, yes.
Right. She's
This I forgot some of the things that they sell at Hot Topics with Spencer's Gifts. I'm not sure if they're still around though, but if there's malls still around.
Spencer's was more about juvenile jokes. Hot Topic was for girls who wanted to be emo without doing Molly.
I don't remember which one it was, but I think there was actually some like sex toys that like one of them were or report back. Maybe those were jokes.
That would definitely have been Spencer's, and they would not have been functional.
That's what I thought. Yeah, I was thinking it's just like,
You cannot sell functional sex toys at the mall. not a mainstream mall. A strip mall, definitely. You'll find that Xbox at a strip mall.
But the thing is, like, it's possible because I know at the Fry's, the FYE, they used to sell music as well. They still sell music, but sell a bunch of other entertainment stuff. I'm not sure if the one in this Westfield shopping center still has it, or the South Center Mall has it. But it did use before that the FYE had like a tiny section. Well, there's anime, and there's the anime that's like behind the black, like the
behind the curtain. You have to show an ID to get back there. Yeah.
No. They were right on the shelves. They had hentai right on the shelves. It's just
did they just put stickers over?
they just had the dividers, as it were, but just black ones that just right in front of the cover, so you don't see those covers because those covers are not family friendly.
Sort of like at the gas station when they used to put the girly mags in the brown envelopes.
Yeah, exactly. And there's like one person who really embarrassed her boyfriend when she saw that, she was amazed, like, honey, they have tentacle porn here. I don't know if they still sell technical porn, but that's why I thought that maybe those like sex toys that Spencer gets were like functional as well. But think about it now, it's like no, they're probably be gap.
No, I mean,
well, too.
I'm just. I mean, malls are still around, but that kind of surprises me. But at the same time, it kind of doesn't. Because, I mean, there's always some stuff you want to try on before you buy it. You know, not everybody's going to buy boxes of Lululemon, right? But also... Go ahead.
Speaking of Hot Topic, I got this Ed and Eddie T-shirt from Hot Topic.
Nerd.
Cool. Never seen that show.
But you know why malls were so heavily associated with teenage girls? Can I'm just like, can either of you think of a reason?
The creepy guys that like to hang out at malls to pick up the girls.
It's like easy socialization. They can just
Nope. Geek nailed it. At strip malls, hanging out on Main Street, girls felt unsafe. In the mall, there was security. They had somebody to call on. What's his name? Roy Moore got kicked the fuck out for being a creepy 32-year-old hitting on 14-year-old girls. They felt safe there. It was a place for them to exist in public without being in danger. And that's why malls were associated with teenage girls. And that's why I'm glad malls still exist. I want them to have safe spaces.
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't know that, actually.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I saw a documentary on it like 15 years ago, I think. It was really enlightening.
Because, I mean, that does make some sense.
I would imagine that like so the practicality of like so many stores in like in one place that like is good for like local economies as well too. Even though that you get some like you get in the safety rec center kind of storylines like no, we don't want a mall here in this like small town in America. It was actually like plot line to a Hannah Montana movie.
Irony.
Every white girl wanted to be Hannah Montana at my school.
She was popular.
I remember when I was in middle school, everyone was watching Baywatch. Not Baywatch. The teen version of Baywatch with Zach Morrison. Saved by the Bell.
No. When you frame it that way.
I mean, come on. They were sexy. They were wearing tight clothes, except for Zach, who was wearing sweaters. And Screech, who was just... He starred in a porno, and it was gross.
I'm always here.
Yes, just a dinosaur jerk. In fact, everyone on set hates you as a word that you are a jerk. But no, now I was like thinking, no. Saved by the Bell also sells that because one of the characters, I remember seeing the commercial for Saved by the Bell, and one of the characters goes, "Mama, ooh goo goo." It's a baby talk essentially for like, but eyeballing like the hot girls and like the Saved by the Bell. Hey, John P.
Hey, Jojo.
We did mention some of the serious notes, and I quickly went off the topic in many different ways. But like, yes, the U.S. government and the U.K. government are assisting in genocide of the Palestinian people. Yes.
I want to correct you, Geek. We don't have topics. We have resting points. We drift. We are stream of thought.
Yes, ADHD, stream of consciousness, ADHD, autism, like show exactly. Except for this past week, honestly, actually, even though I really could have like followed the news and followed my catch up on podcast, I didn't. But I've like before that, in the previous 2 weeks, I did catch up with my podcast, and so yeah, I don't, and what to do about it. I wish I had the answers, honestly, because like, yeah, the liberal thing of like is. The liberal thing is like how everyone of like calling and talking to your representatives. I don't think that will help. If your representatives is pro-Palestine as it were and is pro-Palestine and against Israel, then like definitely call and or email them. And,
calling your representative, writing your representative, that does make a slight difference. They have staffers whose only job is to collect that information so they know where their constituents are at.
Yeah.
Emails are counted low, phone calls are counted higher, and in-office visit is counted higher still.
True.
So am I interrupting? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. Well, let me just wait one last thing. The more annoying you can be to your representative, the more seriously they will take you. Go ahead, Izzy.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was saying, so I've actually been kind of so I was actually at a pro-Palestine I
Protest?
guess
Rally?
it wasn't really a protest, but it was more like we were talking to our mayor here in Tallahassee, and I gave a speech about it, and I said that criticizing Israel is not anti-Semitic.
Well,
So it
that's
goes
good.
based.
That's good.
It was
Definitely standing up in public, making your voice heard like that. They'll listen to shit like that.
anti-Semitic to criticize
I
Israel.
mean, if you're willing to
Yeah.
get up and speak, if you're willing to just travel there, they'll listen. If you're willing to stand up in front of everyone, they'll listen.
Yeah.
The more, the louder you are, the more they have to listen.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. That it does, especially if it's like done in public as well too. I mean, there's many people like,
Absolutely.
it gets reported on that how people like went up to like a Joe Manchin in an elevator, or when he was on vacation, or like Christian cinema,
Mhm.
as it were, being vocal to the politicians when on camera.
Now, I'm not going to suggest that you punch out your local representative, but if it's
No.
Kirsten Cinema, no, don't. Absolutely do not commit physical assault. Do not commit a crime. I'm telling you, do not do that. I am not Ben Shapiro. I am not advocating stochastic terrorism. Ben Shapiro does. Ben Shapiro's an asshole.
I'm not surprised that Ben Shapiro's like recommended to like punch someone as it were.
Well, no, I'm not saying that he ever has. I'm just saying that he keeps on showing up on the watch lists, or sorry, the viewing history of terrorists.
Yeah.
Now, if you
exactly.
encounter a Nazi,
yes,
go ahead and beat the shit out of a Nazi.
as punch a Nazi because it's only costs you $1 to do so, has been proven in civil court.
I think that
I'm-
was just in one jurisdiction. Don't exaggerate, geek.
Is
If I ever punch a Nazi, I'm just gonna pretend I'm a Tuskegee Airman shooting down a Nazi.
It's what, and it also is like
Oh,
every
remember? Oh, shit. Yes. If you ever encounter a Nazi, Izzy, please say, just shout Tuskegee when you punch him out. Tuskegee, bitch. Bam!
2 30 seconds. 2 30 second. Or
yes. Yeah, but so I think it was like other posts I've seen in other discourse about like what Palestinians so it's like asking for is one thing I think like definitely especially since like I don't know the latest if like they have water again or if they have electricity again, but like that was definitely a
If
problem.
they do, it's only temporary.
It's only temporary. It's
Fucking
only, like,
apartheid
certain parts.
bullshit.
Yeah, it's always apartheid bullshit. It's just like, but from what I've heard is that like no, Egypt, the intelligence of Egypt was warning Israel that like Hamas is planning something, and
Why the fuck would Egypt warn them?
I don't know, or they have intelligence or that sort of thing. I guess I
Probably they suspected the Americans knew, and they knew if they didn't warn them, then yeah, it was fucking
yeah,
international
probably.
politics. They felt yeah. Well, let's. I mean, look, I don't feel much sympathy for Muslim apartheid states either, which means most of the Middle East. Egypt. Let's see, they had the Arab Spring and they replaced a bureaucratic dictatorship with a bureaucratic dictatorship. Am I right, or am I misremembering?
I think so. I have to remember, but I'm not surprised there's corruption in in Egyptian governance were or some things as well too. But like, it's what you as a USA citizen is more when do we hear about like 100 countries when something big is happening? I'm sure there's like a whole history going back and like Egypt and in that part of the world too, which is why on my Twitch channel I've been like reading up the history of Palestine. It's just like kind of crash course like article series that's the word to at least give you a brief ideas or to that sort of thing. But one thing is just like people, and this some viewers of C-Shy says like I made this mistake as well, but they kind of like are propagandize this as well. It's like, oh, this is a 1,000-year long conflict. No, it's less than 100-year long conflict.
we got to remember too. Like it's like some people are saying it's not a religious conflict, but I kind of disagree. It's not a religious conflict, maybe on the Palestinian end of it, or at least because like I don't want to like speak for them, but I know living in the American South, and having been to church and have heard, especially like white churches and shit, like there's a lot of like rednecks who are like happy because it's like they think this is like where the world's gonna end.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that
Here in the U.S., the evangelicals, the KKK, are definitely supporting it because of religious bullshit. The Jews in Israel are definitely supporting it because Zionism is a religious movement.
Yeah,
You know, it's their homeland granted them by God. They insist that it was given them during Exodus, blah, blah, blah.
yeah.
For the Palestinians, it wasn't originally. They were just being colonized by settlers, and they lost their land, they lost everything, and they've been struggling to hopefully try and get it back. I mean, yes, Jojo, you're right. Christian Zionism is what the KKK does.
Yeah,
They support
exactly.
Israel without question because millennialism and all that
which is
bullshit.
funny considering how anti-Semitic a lot of those assholes are. But
Oh no! When the end comes, they fully believe that the Jews are all going to die.
Yeah.
They
Exactly.
look forward to that. You read
That's
the
what I
Left
was-
Behind series, the Jews
Oh,
all
yeah.
die.
Funny enough, I actually kind of liked. I'm gonna be honest. I did watch Left Behind back in the day just to see how silly it was. It's a real silly. It's like, oh my
It is
god,
fucking ridiculous.
it is. All the
Kirk
fighters-
Cameron has no sense of self or shame.
even just like comes in and just stop all the fighter jets from just like all the fighter jets. It's like, what the fuck is this?
Only Kirk
yeah.
Cameron would unapologetically give us the fire-breathing Jews of Revelation.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, and also too, remember in that movie, world peace is bad because I guess Jesus hates world peace. I don't know.
Because
Man,
you need the global nuclear fire, because not by water, but by fire next time.
Man,
And you're right, Ozma, there are a lot of Christians in Palestine.
Well, that's what I was about to bring up too.
Also-
It was a recent post I saw on Facebook, I think by one of our friends, possibly Ozma. 150,000 Christian Palestinians died.
Isn't it too that if you're like also Christian in Israel, you're kind of a second-class citizen anyway? Because
If you're not Jewish, you're a second-class citizen. If you're black and Jewish, you're a second-class citizen. They
Yeah.
are racist as hell.
you're a third-class citizen. That's what you are.
And there's even like some Jewish Palestinians. So yeah, they do exist, and like yeah, they are third, fourth, or fifth class citizens as well because like them being Palestinian, and if they're on the wrong side as it were, or born in the wrong country, then like yeah, they're in the. We have often called like Gaza Strip as it were as a open air prison as it were.
They're the
And-
world's largest, I believe.
Yeah, but like Shireen on the It Can Happen Here has like pointed out that's like by implying that it's going to a prison, that's implying that the Palestinians have done something wrong, which they
It's an
haven't.
internment camp, yeah. It's
Yeah,
a concentration camp.
Yes, open air concentration camp is a better term for it because like that's exactly what it is that they're suffering under, and like any time.
I wonder
also-
how the Palestinian concentration camp compares area and population-wise to the concentration camps of the Shoah. And I'm using the Jewish term for the Holocaust deliberately because fuck Israel.
Yeah,
I can't- yeah. If Israel is trying to like bankroll their invasion by like using the Holocaust as like leverage, it's so sickening.
Oh yeah.
it's moral leverage. Yeah, It's like-
Zionism extends well before World War II, just to be clear.
Yes.
It goes back to like the late 19th century, I think.
yes,
But
I-
it
I
gained
read-
real power thanks to the Holocaust.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my God, all these Christians looked around and said, oh, all of that anti-Semitic stuff we did has real consequences. Hey, let's do a Holocaust over here so that people forget about the Holocaust we did over there.
Okay, Mithril, we mentioned Egypt. It's like, according to Mithril, the Mithril Brotherhood, it's a liberal ring to power in Egypt after the Arab Spring. U.S.-sponsored military coup followed fairly quickly. Not
Doesn't
surprised.
surprise me. Does not surprise
Yeah.
me. Yeah. I believe it was Mubarak who was in charge in Egypt before then. He was the guy with literal diamonds sewn into the pinstripes of his suits. And then he was replaced, and then replaced again. Hey, Joe!
Hey, Joe, what are you doing with that gun in your hand?
Hey Joe,
That's still a good song.
Jojo, I believe that the Christians believe that the Jews will be given the opportunity to convert, and if they don't, they'll die and burn in hell, and then we'll get to watch in heaven. Sorry, the Christians will get to watch in heaven. I was playing a bit. I was doing a bit.
Yeah. I mean, no. It's that the Christians do believe that they're the better Jews or the new Jews, as it were, because like they follow Jesus, as it were, and they will. Yep, they'll be shown to the promised land. I think Ann Coulter did literally said that to Danny George, a Jewish man. Israel government definitely is like taking a model minority to a new level. Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing too. It's just like if we are talking about the Zionists and the Israel government as well too. Because like there are plenty of like anti-Zionist Jewish people as it were, and like plenty of Jews.
Some. So
yeah.
And you know what's worse about
I've got a couple of Zionists in my feed. But no.
You know what's even worse about it? So in Florida, because of course Florida likes to, always showing its ass.
Oh, your governor is like Satanist.
Right. I just call them. I can't without like resorting to like Italian.
Ron DeSandwich. Let's just go ahead and call him that. Ron DeSandwich. Rhonda. Yes, let's misgender her. Rhonda Sandwich.
No.
No. I know, you're right. But it would definitely piss him off.
It would piss him off, but like we shouldn't result to like misgendering someone because. Like,
no, you're right. I know.
I don't like violence.
Is he a Nazi? Can I punch him?
Oh yes, but he's also a politician, though, so is a problem. You would definitely be committing a crime. You're not going to just be fined $1 or something like that. You probably will go to jail for some time.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely would beat the shit out of him if I could, if there was a possibility.
Yeah. I fucking hate religion just because. I mean, Israel is a perfect microcosm of why religion is so fucking heinous.
Yeah, it is. Or at least why people support it, or at least like the shit that's going on.
I mean, 70 fucking years of bullshit because of religion. From the Holocaust to the current Holocaust.
Yeah.
I mean...
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, Joey, I am surprised that I still have Zionists in my friends feed. Given that I'm more than happy to say, hey, our response to a genocide shouldn't be another genocide. Yeah.
I gotta post that on my wall just in case as well. I did share that meme of like, you're anti-Semitic if you question this bomb as well. So it's like, let's see if I get responses. I haven't though. So
yeah, I got one person just said, fuck off. Another person said, okay. Yeah, seriously. And then there was like a 10 response argument. I didn't participate because, fuck them.
Yeah, sometimes I don't participate in the like a 10 to 30 comment like argument that I have.
And also, I feel kind of awkward as a cishet white guy engaging in some conversations among Jewish people.
I agree, Joe McClary. Now again should be like a for everyone and not just Jews people, which is why like that's like.
Remember, the Jews suffered disproportionately in the Shoah,
yes, absolutely.
But they were only half of those who died, and a huge portion were people who are oppressed under Israel and Palestinian rule, homosexuals.
Yes.
So, I mean, and disabled people and political dissidents.
Yes.
Who I think are not allowed full expression in Israel. I mean, and also dark people who also aren't allowed full expression in Israel. I mean, I don't want to get into, I don't want to get into villainy Olympics here, Ozma. I hate religion. I don't necessarily think it's the worst. It is a bad thing.
I would say it's not, because like I as someone who's actually been to a black church, it's not bad in that area. But I mean, I don't know.
But black churches are also homophobic and misogynistic. You know,
they can be, yeah.
Or yes, they can be. I shouldn't with too broad a brush.
That's
Hey,
why.
And Martin Luther King Jr. He wasn't willing to step up and be a communist, but he was definitely a fucking communist. And, I mean, we have, what's his name? Mr. Rogers. St. Rogers.
Oh,
Fred Rogers.
Fred Rogers.
I mean, he was definitely willing to fight against racism, but fighting for gay rights was a step too far. The black cop on his show was gay, and he wasn't willing to let him be honest about that.
Yeah, exactly. That was a little disappointing. But like knowing that like Fred Rogers is also a Republican, I bet he would like it.
Well, Republican in 1975 was different from Republican in 1995.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like, hey, I won't hold it against like Fred Rogers for like being Republican. That would kind of hold it against Fred Rogers a little bit for like not wanting his like gay friend to be open to being gay, but like.
But I mean, at the same time, it was 1975. It was 6 years after Stonewall. It was.
Yeah.
And he was running a children's program. I understand it. It's disappointing, but understandable.
But at the same time, like for a children's programs, he had a storyline about war in his like thing when he even on.
Well, remember what the MPAA says. Horrific, deplorable violence is okay, so long as nobody says any dirty words.
Right.
America is fucked.
Yeah.
Violence is good, sex is evil. What the fuck is wrong with us?
Well, it's even worse with the MPAA because I did see the movie. This film is not yet rated.
Oh, that was such a brilliant fucking movie. Documentary.
Yes, exactly. If it's straight and heterosexual, perfectly fine as it were. Mm-hmm. Except if it's cunnilingus, though. For some reason, blowjobs are fine and like rape scenes are not often censored. As cunnilingus is definitely censored. Mm-hmm.
I recently watched The Cooler. Starring William H. Macy and Belisario.
She's a great actress. Yeah, I think so. She's a great actress.
Melina Belisario, I want to say.
She was in the History of Violence too.
Yes, she was.
Melina Bello.
Melina Bello. There we go. Maria Bello.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she fought like hell to get like the hint of her muff showing in there after William H. Macy ate her out.
Yeah, exactly.
They were going to give that film an NC-17 rating just for that.
Slap with NC-17. You're never given an NC-17.
You're right, Ozma. Nazis in the KKK have been in the... Because there have been white people in the Republican Party forever, there have always been Nazis in KKK in the Republican Party. But the Democrats were the party of the Nazis and the KKK until... there was a transition starting around, around 1947. And then it slowly rolled over until Nixon did the definitive thing in 1968. Mm-hmm. In 1947, Harry Truman, a genuine progressive liberal, despite looking like a fucking... not despite. Definitely not despite looking like a fucking nerd. He was a genuine progressive liberal, and he bought into... bye, Ozma. He bought into progressive stuff, and he was upset about the way black veterans were being treated after World War II. And he launched the Presidential Commission on Civil Rights in 1947 and almost imploded the Democratic Party. What's his name? Strom Thurmond, racist, rapist, piece of shit. Glad he's dead. His grave is a gender-neutral bathroom. Don't take bathroom advice from a podcast. He was being term limited out as governor of South Carolina, and he ran for president on the Dixiecrat ticket because he was so upset about Truman saying, black people are people. And, I mean, that didn't destroy the Democrats. It didn't drive the white supremacists out of the Democrats, but the ground got softer. And it wasn't until Nixon ran on the Southern Strategy in 1968 that the white supremacists ran to the Republican Party.
Yeah, that's where the transition definitely happened. Which is, again...
It took another 25 years to sort of trickle its way down from the presidency down to the ground level. It wasn't until Newt Gingrich came along and solidified the Nazi platform as the Republican platform in 92. Or 94, I should say. But, We have a
Yeah.
complicated and stupid history with our fucking idiot piece of shit racists.
Yeah, yeah.
And once upon a time, I thought that Newt Gingrich was a special kind of evil for leaving his wife when she got cancer. Now I know that's just something men do.
Mm-hmm.
Doctors will, or should at least, advise their female patients when they get cancer, there's like a 2/3 chance your husband's going to leave you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's like.
Hey, this is an upbeat show. Let's talk about.
Oh, well, speaking of like the politics, as we're with the Thugglecans now as well. So, I haven't listened in the past week. Do we have a Speaker of the House now?
I was just about to ask. I don't think we do. There's a guy named Joe, I think, running for it.
There is. But I don't. Joe, you're a Joe. Do you know about the other Joe? That's like.
Oh, House Speaker Mike Johnson.
Okay, we finally got one.
According to
Like
CNN, what we're learning about House Speaker Mike Johnson and his demands for government funding. Mike Johnson. Who the fuck is Mike Johnson?
I don't know
That is a Republican haircut. Those are Republican glasses. That is a Republican suit. He's wearing a red tie.
Basically, he's basically a nerd. He's a boring.
Oh no, he's not a nerd. He's a piece of shit. Rep. Mike Johnson, the new Speaker of the House, this is just me reading off of CNN.com, has been a vocal supporter of former President Donald Trump and was a key congressional figure in the failed efforts to, they call it overturn the 2020 election. I call it stage a coup d'etat.
Yeah.
The Louisiana Republican was first elected to the House in 2016. Oh my God. He's only been there for 3-4 terms, and now he's the House. Oh, Jesus Christ. And serves as vice chairman of the House Republican Conference. He's the vice chairman of the House Republican Conference, and now he's the speaker? They went to a... I mean, he's not a backbencher, but he's not the foremost leader of the fucking party, as well as GOP deputy whip. He's not even the whip. An assistant leadership role. An attorney with a focus on constitutional law, he joined a group of House Republicans in voting to sustain the objection to electoral votes on January 6th. During Trump's first impeachment trial, Johnson, along with a group of other GOP lawmakers, served a largely ceremonial role in Trump's Senate impeachment team. He also sent an email from a personal email account in 2020 to every House Republican soliciting signatures for an amicus brief in the long-shot Texas lawsuit seeking to invalidate electoral college votes from multiple states. Oh my God, he's a fucking dipshit lunatic. And he's not even like the... They served up a fucking second-tier dipshit to try and just get something done. He is going to be out in a matter of months.
It's like, what was the former Speaker of the House? It's just
not Keir Starmer, Ken something.
Ken Gross? I don't know. Yeah, he was just like, he had like, again, it was like the 16th election that like he finally got to be the Speaker of the House, and it was a very, 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 very tentative class of that like leadership, because Matt Gaetz and like just a handful of like other like terrible, awful like Republicans, which is saying something, especially the Thug Party. But Matt Gaetz is a special kind of like terrible.
Oh, he's a pedophile.
Yes, exactly. Again, special kind. But like
sorry. I should say. No, he's a phoebe. I can't remember how the pedophiles parse. I think a phoebophile is for the post-pubescent teens. And that is what he sought out. He was strictly interested in 14, 15-year-old girls.
Yes.
Actually, I think he paid 17-year-old girls for sex, so I should be careful about that.
Yeah, exactly. But so, yeah, it's all because of, like I don't know if anyone can be able to like unify the Republicans now, because like I don't know if they're a functioning party anymore too. I don't know if they were ever a functioning party though, but like if they at least they were oftentimes would like take power and able to hold power as well. But I am not even sure if Mitch McConnell wants to like work with like that kind of like faction that like the Congress as it were in the Republicans. That like
I don't think Mitch McConnell wants much anymore. I think he's on death's door. I mean, he's
mess up.
Dianne Feinstein level of non-functional at this point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So yeah. Well, in a couple of weeks, just like 2 more weeks, the temporary deal that they passed in order to like keep the government open is due on like 17th November. So they have to pass a resolution in the budget in order to keep the government like operating.
And something tells me that those fucking fascist fanatic dipshits are not going to be willing to make a deal.
They weren't making. They'll be like 4, and that's how like they ousted the former speaker. Well, because like they did his job to try to like get something passed and get something done to like keep the government functioning and sort of too, but like that was like a bridge too far. So functioning governance is the bridge too far for the fascists in like the Congress, in the House of Representatives as well as in the Republican Party. So yep, that's where we are in the USA, where it's just like just like a couple of dipshits can just like ruin the whole thing, as it were, and like we used to thought that there was like cohesion in the Republican Party. If there was cohesion, it was a tentative one as well. But like I don't know, maybe there was at one point.
Back in the '60s before Nixon.
No,
well, I mean, actually, the fascists are usually good at cohesion. That's actually something they're usually good at. This disintegration is weird.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't get it. I'm seeing on Facebook that there was a shooting in Tampa.
I heard about it. I don't know much about it.
Okay. So you're not near Ybor City?
No.
City?
I live in Tallahassee.
Oh, yeah. Different T city.
Yeah, okay, but like, yeah, so another shooting happened. Just kind of like I've heard about the main shooting that happened, and I'm just like, yep, I heard it happen. And the Steve Jobs mentioned this as well on the Ask Away. At this point, and I think my older sibling has like mentioned this on Facebook, but like months ago, but like it's I think point still stand. Yes, as we heard about all this horrific news, sometimes for some of us, we just can't process it, and so we just like, okay, it happened and move on, because that's the only way for us to like the same thing.
Again, it's gonna happen again. No one's gonna do anything about it. People are gonna go into their camps.
Mm-hmm.
Have all the dipshits basically say, the gun nuts basically say, "Hey, you had more guns." It's just like fuck. It just doesn't matter. Even when there's like on Instagram, there's like these like gun nuts that sometimes I see, and it's like even when that whole like Montgomery brawl, I guess, that happened when that boat docked, there's like people who are like saying, "Hey, I wish I had me a gun. I would have stopped it." It's like, you not like fucking realize that no one had a gun, so no one got shot and died? Are you that fucking stupid that you or like are you that fucking attached to your guns? It was like, all right, it's like,
yeah,
I don't care anymore, man. These people are just fucking stupid.
Yeah, that brawl at the Montgomery dock, yeah, that would have been like a lot worse. Have been a tragedy if there was a gun there, like a shooting. But like it said, there was no gun.
When they say a good guy with a gun, they mean a white guy with a gun.
Right.
Yeah.
And I would have been like, my response to that is like, okay, you're gonna shoot me. You're gonna shoot me for doing my fucking job. Go ahead. Go ahead. And I would have been like, go ahead and shoot. And I hope all the black people who catch it on camera see it, and this country will fucking burn. I'm like, cool. You go ahead and shoot. Go ahead and fucking shoot and watch this whole country. I put it this way, they will see the fires from Alpha Centauri. I put it that way.
I mean, hell. Yeah, people of the community did like blew up a police station after like one police officer killed a black man, and it was caught on camera as well. And that was just like the power cake that like sparked like uprisings all around the world in response to that.
Yeah, I fucking care it. Just do it. Do it. Shoot me for doing my fucking job. Do it. Do it. And I swear to God, you won't have a boat deck tomorrow. They will be smoldering ruins.
Yeah.
And you know what? And if I survive and I'm in the hospital, I'll even say it. Burn it, because these racist assholes thought they were fucking entitled to shoot someone doing their job. So I put it this way: don't have a boat deck, and I'll even go further. Don't burn poor people. Don't burn a poor people's store. Don't do any of that. But if you want to burn that boat dock, do it. Do it. Fuck it. Fuck it. I don't care.
This, I mean, one time in like Atlanta, at the, like as the like protests or like uprisings were happening in the summer of 2020, the Waffle House was spared. There was like a Twitter video of it. It's like, oh no, this is the Waffle House. We're not trashing this one, isn't we? Let's move on, isn't we? Too. So like, yeah, they spared the Waffle House because yeah. But many also like small businesses would like put up signs of like Black Lives Matter and stuff like that to like. But even if like it wasn't in some, there was like one small business. I just like saw this on Facebook at the time. One small business owner was like saying, you know what, if my small business is trash, I don't mind, because like one thing, I support the protesters and what they're like upset about and what their uproar is about. As like MLK's Junior said, like riots is the language of the unheard, or something like that. Like the language of the unheard. They were the finally.
I'm not saying we should like burn some working class people's store. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm just saying, like, so like. No, you're not gonna pull out a gun and shoot someone trying to do their job because you're a racist prick and think you're gonna get away with it. So I don't know what has to happen, but someone needs to get that message. I'll put it this way.
No. Message received. Kill all white people. I get it.
No, it's like, no. I'll put it this way, because in Florida, our governor basically wanted to like make up this bullshit law that there's like voter fraud, and he wants to make this election police force. And I'm like, I can't speak for every other black person out there, but I dare you to tell me that I can't vote. I will give you a reason to shoot me if you tell me not to vote. I don't give a fuck. I'm not gonna let you stop me from voting. So I'm sorry. I don't bother people. I keep to myself, but you're not going to tell me not to vote, or like you're not going to fuck with me and expect not to get a response.
I recall in the last election or the one before, a bunch of cops arrested a bunch of black people for trying to vote because they pulled up in a bus.
I fucking dare it. I fucking dare it. Do it.
Everyone knows that you commit crimes by pulling up in a church bus.
No, that kind of imitation was happening around the 2020 election. That might happen again, honestly. Who knows? I mean, hell, like the troubles, or the good troubles that like MLK Jr. do, the Montgomery, the Bloody Sunday, something like that. That it's just like a lot of that was like happening. They're trying to just get the black people to be registered to vote, and there was like litmus tests that they have to take as well. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like, or sometimes it's just like for Nick Anderson. He is like he thought the only reason Nick Anderson did not vote in 2016 is because he was told that autistic people can't vote, as were, and he believed it. No,
Mithril. Is it legal to throw water balloons full of pig's blood at cops in the UK? Just asking. It's probably not. It's almost certainly a crime. But you should. You should do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. I'm the little devil on your shoulder. Do it.
And for a little angel on your shoulder as well, it's just like another devil or like someone else that's like telling you to like do things.
Yeah, you probably. I know that the UK has more restrictive laws in some ways than the US.
So cops
actually in almost every way. You're not allowed to insult people. You're not allowed to carry a sword.
But the UK was also like trying to like pass some like anti-protest law as well, which is like not surprising.
I mean, they already have the Riot Act. Why do they need to pass an anti-protest law? I mean, the anti-riot the Riot Act goes back to like 1437 or some shit, but and it's an actual act. They would go and they would show up and they would read the Riot Act to let people know that they were doing something unlawful, and then they would kill them.
I would never understand why police and people like that, I guess, like attack people protesting. Like I saw that I saw that shit with like the coronation and they were like arresting people just protesting. It's like why are you arresting these people? Is it like I'm gonna arrest this protester? Maybe King Charles let me wear his stupid crown for an hour. I don't know.
It's just, some people just have to be in control of everything all the time. It's like, why would you beat the shit out of your kids? Some people are bad parents, and those people become cops.
Well, my dad beat the shit out of me, so fuck.
Yeah, it's just like spanked as a kid.
Well, sometimes my dad beat me like Rodney King.
Damn.
I can make that joke because
No.
Because your dad was a cop?
No, because
I was deliberately misunderstanding.
did your dad say, "I'm doing this because I love you"? Because
this hurts you more. This hurts me more than it hurts you.
actually, he was. There's that bullshit lie that parents spank kids because they love them, but my dad, when he spanked me, he was pissed. So I call bullshit on that.
So he was. Oh, I mean, everyone calls bullshit on it except Republicans.
my dad literally said that to like my step nephew. Because I don't know why it is like I haven't let pride into it as well. But basically, my dad and my stepmom are raising my stepsister's kids, as it were. My stepsister still lives with my stepmom, and my dad, as well too. So it's like that. But it's not like the father of those kids are absent, as it were too. No. I met the dude, and he actually seems like a good dude.
Oh.
It's just like
Mithril, start a thing. Throwing empty water balloons at cops.
Mm-hmm.
Not with pig's blood in them, not with anything in them, but they could have had pig's blood in them.
They arrested all the people of Blank Street Superior in case they wrote "Not My King" on it. It's just like
They arrested someone. I think that was just one cop being a cop.
Yeah, one cop being a dick, yeah, or a cop, yeah.
And remember, 40% of cops are okay. Google it. 40% cops.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lie.
That was actually also another lie. 40% of police admitted to spousal abuse. Cops are assholes. Becoming a cop makes you an asshole if you weren't already one. 40% admitted to abuse.
Oh man, if like Kirok just like comes in at like this moment is work, as Kirok's a firm believer that like cops are necessary for criminals and that cops are humans too. So, sorry.
Well,
Kirok,
technically they are humans. They're just humans who should not be doing what they're doing and need to be stopped.
Yeah. But Kirok, you know how we feel on the show as well too, and it was a conversation also that happened on the last Ask Away because like I don't know, it's just like. How to prevent a situation like what happened in Maine, the shooting is the word. I'm not. Kirok was trying to like focus on like in the moment, right then and there, what to do. It's just like.
It reminds me of a conversation on I think Dear Old Dads between Eli, Tom, and Thomas, where Eli was talking about what they were talking about. Oh, I can't remember what it was, but it's like, what if? It's like, why could you not do this thing? And Eli talked about how his instinctive response was to come up with this most ridiculous extreme situation. What if I was in this ridiculous extreme thing? Would it then be okay for me? And then he realized, oh shit, I'm trying to defend me. I don't know what it exactly was, but hitting a woman. And I am coming up with this ridiculous extreme thing to justify other situations. I'm wrong here. And that's how people defend cops. They always come up with ridiculous bullshit in order to defend cops being cops all the fucking time.
Yep.
Yeah. Another happy topic that we're on is we're too.
I'd like to imagine a future in which there is no private property, when people are free from the fear of homelessness and starvation, in which you just see people sitting around, just chatting.
Yeah.
just having a couple of beers, playing the guitar, playing hacky sack. It's a fucking college campus everywhere, is what I'm imagining. Because college campus, I mean, yeah, they're privileged pricks on the college I went to, anyway. But, I mean, that is what everyone should experience, is that freedom.
Yeah, I actually work in a dorm room where I do see like a lot of I guess rich college kids, and they're like, "Oh, we're gonna go to the club tonight. We're gonna go to the club." It's like, do you guys like go to school? What? That's all you
They do. The thing is, they don't have to work, so they can schedule around classes. They can skip class if they want, and they can just have a couple of beers and relax. And
Yes.
right now, that's the purview of the privileged, but I would like that for everyone.
I mean, I wouldn't say like, cause like, I would just like probably just work on like projects most of the time.
I mean, yeah, you don't have to go out to bars. It's just I want everyone to have time to relax and be happy. And there's no cops in my little imaginary scenario.
Yeah, there's no cops in my imaginary scenario as well too. They want to be able to like wake up, and then you wake up and you decide what you want to like do that day. You want to cook something for yourself, want to cook something for your friends or like the group, want to like go out fishing, stream on Twitch or YouTube or something like that. Work on your own projects, work on the group project. Okay, we're like building this road over here, or hey, we're helping out this person as well. Want to come this work? Yeah. The only kind of like advertisements I see in my world is kind of like the community cork board at like the places where community centers is work, or the equivalent.
I mean,
of that
for large scale
online
projects, you'll need larger scale organization, and you'll need cooperation among communities, but you don't need cops.
Yeah.
There will be disagreements, there will be fights, and there will be sociopaths. So you'll need proctors, but they won't need guns.
I'm not necessarily, because like I can't really trust my safety to just. I mean, I don't know, man. Like
I'm probably being white and utopian here, so I mean I get that.
I don't want to say like, oh, there'd just be no cop. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, there would have to be people to moderate disputes. And I have to acknowledge that there are such things as people with antisocial personality disorder, what we used to call sociopathy or psychopathy.
yeah.
So there's always going to be predators, and we're always going to need people to deal with that kind of thing, but we don't need cops. We need nurses.
Yeah, Contest Red says, I want to like drink, eat, and not burn brain cells on the restroom use.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
There should be so many more public restrooms. There should be public restrooms at all, and not, can I use yours, Mr. Business Owner, sir? Please, for the love of God, I have to pee. You know, I mean...
Yeah. One thing that did get passed in like Washington State is that for those who have like Crohn's disease, or because like Crohn's, that was one person who has Crohn's disease explains it is like, okay, imagine a diarrhea. So okay, that's bad enough. Except that it's intense diarrhea, and it has the pain of like a knife being stabbed up your butts. And that's what it feels like to have a Crohn's disease attack, because we're just like, I need to use your restroom right now. But now, at least in Washington State, you can have a card where it's like, even if the business does not have a public restroom, but has a restroom because the places of business need restrooms for their employees. That's just an ocean thing as well too. And if you present that card, you'll be like, get access to the bathroom if you're for your Crohn's disease. So at least something. Yeah, it's last that in this world that like there's at least something like that. Again, at least in Washington State. But yeah, it's just like more accessible like bathrooms. Problem is, when I learned that like a new like Lake Brightwell station, that Angel Lake, like north of where I live, is there, and I was like, there are no bathrooms here. It's like, yeah, they don't want the homeless to like get in there and stuff like that. And it's just like,
I mean, I understand it. With the homeless, we fucked up so bad with the homeless. Yeah. But I mean, if you're somebody who has to clean a gas station bathroom, having a homeless person come in and take a having somebody come in and take a bird bath can be such a pain in the ass.
Mm-hmm.
Bird bath meaning that you wash in the sink. It makes a big mess. You use up all the paper towels. You leave water everywhere, soap everywhere, and I get it. But when we ended the asylum system, we didn't do so out of humanitarian concerns. We did so out of Republican concerns. We wanted to cut costs. That was it.
Yeah.
And so we abandoned the ill.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, basically wards of the state.
Mm-hmm.
No,
They went from wards of the state to criminals. That was it.
mm-hmm. We were already on the house where this country was never great with the on the house in this period,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just getting worse with like, hey, there's like a fence now underneath the bridge up in Ballard on 15th. That fence was not there.
The purpose is just to keep the homeless from sleeping under there, right?
Yes.
Let me see if I can find the quote.
There was in fact like one time in Seattle there was like bike racks that was placed underneath the bridge that was scheduled for demolition. So someone else asked, "Why is this the case?" And they did a FOIA request, as it were, freedom of information, and then they were learned explicitly is they put the bike racks there just so the homeless people would not sleep underneath that bridge. It's like hostile design, as it were, too. Again, why there's like those dividers on the park benches, as it were, too, is not so that you can have your space and then you can have those spaces, so that people won't lie down and sleep, as it were. But yeah, I agree. Contest for accessible public restrooms. That's the key thing as well too. The metro. I used to work in public toilets. I let homeless sleep overnight in the disabled, not words loo. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The handicap. We call them handicap stalls. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
For some reason, even though we're talking about the horrible and stuff, I'm humming Dire Straits' "Walk of Life" in my mind. Will you walk of life?
That was written for the film, The Breakfast Club. La loi en sa majesté, en sa égalité majestique, prohibit les riches et les pauvres tous les mêmes.
Well, actually, I'm singing it because I'm writing down inventory to make this vintage NASA spacesuit for the space shuttle back in the 80s. And
okay, I was in the middle of showing off, and you just totally interrupted. Oh my god! But the quote is: "The law, in its majestic equality, forbids rich and poor alike to sleep under bridges."
Mm-hmm. I'm so sorry, by the way.
It's a French communist, Anatole France, from the late 19th century. Mm-hmm. It's the law forbids rich and poor alike from sleeping under bridges, and that tells you everything you need to know about the law.
Well, let's change the topic because it is now autumn, as it were, as seasons of
it definitely feels like it. I mean, I go outside in shorts and a t-shirt, and I only kind of sweat.
Yeah, I love it.
We both live in the South.
Right. So my friend Nasnako asked on my stream, and I have to think about it. It's just I don't think I have to answer, but she asked what the favorite seasonal food as a word that you enjoy having. Is worse it's a food item, but it's not often available except for at this time of year.
Pumpkin example
spice. The pumpkin spice latte is for it. So what other equivalent of pumpkin spice whatever is that you like or you like about the season? It can be apples and apple ciders or apple tarts because at least definitely in cultures where definitely there's a lot of things seasonal that are harvest this time of year. So you can get an association for autumn's here now, time for apple pies or but I don't know. I didn't have an answer for any seasonal thing. Handicap is exploitative of poverty reference. I see.
Handicapped is demonstrative. It's what did the white supremacist misogynist pieces of shit used to call SJWs? About displaying virtue signaling. Handicapped is virtue signaling.
Okay. Thank you for correcting me. So yeah. No. So what? Does anyone? I want the autumn pecan pie. Ooh.
My birthday next month.
Pecan pie is my dad's favorite kind of pie because my dad is Southern.
Do you is that I have? I think Casey Explosion mentioned about a recipe with pecan pie. They use bourbon, and I don't know if I'd be able to make it though. I will attempt to try if I can. If it's not made with eggs, I will try a pecan pie with bourbon in it too. Blueberry
pie is always made with eggs. Well, actually, no. Pecan pie you could probably just make with sugar and butter. It's not vegan, but
yeah.
I mean, it's basically just sugar and butter with pecans on top.
I mean, honestly, there are some pies, store-bought pies that I can get that aren't made with eggs. Not that often, not that frequently. Apple cider, yeah, I like apple cider. I mean, I guess like that would be the one thing. It's just like I love a good apple cider or apple juice as well too. And yet that's kind of like a seasonal thing because like the thing about it, it's like, oh yeah, apples are harvest like around this time. Or that's when they're ripen usually. And not unless capitalism has anything to do with it, where you can buy apples year round.
They ship them through the Sinai until a ship gets stuck. Oh, that was so much fun. You remember that?
I remember that.
Ship nerds, of course I remember that.
That overall global capitalism was temporarily halted and stalled just because of one ship hitting ashore. And that tiny little backhoe, it's like the tiny little backhoe is trying to clear that like boats. The comparison, size comparison. Bourbon pecan pie is glorious. Okay, yep.
Wow. I mean, just thinking that the Sinai is just entirely made of sand. So if you wanted, you could disrupt global trade. Oh, there's no sound. There. Oh, really? That's the only bleep I get out of it? God damn it. I was going to do a whole thing.
I don't think we can hear it. You really need a soundboard if you want to like say something.
Yeah, I know. No, that's a download. Why would I want to download? Here we go. Okay, now I found it. And I share advanced. Okay, no, anyone can. Okay, there we go. And advanced.
You need a sticky notes for this sort of thing so that you can like do it like off screen as well.
And that's too short. We need a long one. Okay, so thinking about the Sinai Peninsula.
The bits that
and what was it? The Suez Canal. There we go. So all you need is a couple of water balloons, really big water balloons, and you could disrupt global trade. With the water balloons. Billions of dollars.
You really
it wasn't worth it. I really need a soundboard. I could do air horns.
Or you could just like stop making that joke. It's not working. Rose hip jelly. That would be like something.
Oh, and like, pork. Oh, I don't doubt.
Yeah, that would be good.
I want a good pork chop with a honey glaze.
And of course, like this week is also Halloween, Hallow's Eve.
Oh, that's right. I saw a little kid trick or treating the other day. Good luck in an apartment complex like this. There's no fucking community here.
And there's much a community of like here at this apartment complex as well too. Yeah, a stream deck. Yeah. That's what like John Brockman needs a stream deck to work. But then he has to figure out how to like use it and work it too as well.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I could figure out how to push buttons.
But you have to program the stream deck as well.
Salwin, yes.
Salwin, yes. I mean, but
fucking Irish. But putting weird fucking pronunciation on all the letters. They're worse than the Russians. Fucking commies.
This English is a language that like took three languages into a dark alley, beat them up, and rummaged through their pockets for leftovers, and that's how we get
the
English.
Loose grammar.
Yes, loose grammar is word. But like so the open question to like everyone. So like not just like seasonal treats as it were, but like seasonal traditions. I don't know. This is like, do you dress up for Halloween or do jack-o'-lanterns? I don't anymore.
As
because,
a
like,
kid, I
Lena-
did.
Yeah,
But
as a kid, I did.
I'm actually gonna hang out with some like some like neighbors of mine, and we're gonna go like just we've been doing it since like 2016, and we're gonna just like do that.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like I don't know. I guess I'm weird at that. Like, I don't get like too hung up on like the ritualization of like, oh, it's because it's this time of year that we must do this thing. I guess as grew up, I don't care anymore, honestly, or I have like other things to worry about, or I just don't get myself excited for like, oh, it's this time of the year, I must do this as it were. And like for New Year's, I just
it's
go
easier to
ahead
get involved in those older traditions when you have kids because the kids enjoy it. That's what it's
Yeah.
really for. Unless it's a serious religious ritual, in which case it's just grandmas that enjoy it.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, Nightmare Before Christmas is still a good movie. Tim
Once a
Burton's
week,
still good for-
every week between Halloween and Christmas. Yeah.
I mean, Tim Burton is still Tim Burton as he is, but he did not direct Nightmare Before Christmas.
No, he
so
just
no one
produced
else-
it, and it shows his aesthetic, but it's
Yes.
not infected with his over-the-top adoration of suburbia.
Yeah. I don't know. What about like spooky movies? As were, do you like scary movies, thrillers, or like anything like that? Slashers?
Personally, not a fan. It's just not my thing.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, I just had a highly overactive imagination, and thus I couldn't go to sleep for days. But now it's just empathy. I don't want to see people get hurt.
That makes sense. What is it kind of this? I don't know. I guess a good movie, regardless if it's like slasher or horror or a thriller or something like that. That's what I care about. And as I mentioned on the members hangout today, at like a couple of weeks ago, so like not the most recent episode, but like a few hours ago. I love the last season episode that like Jason Harden and Steve Shice did on Perfect Blue because I love that movie, and we talked about that quite a bit, and on the members hangouts as well too. When I was like younger, I was a little fussy about like cold, so I used to go up to Long May.
Oh, I thought Perfect Blue was a surfer movie. I mean, it sounds like one.
Yep, Perfect Blue is a psychological thriller directed by Satoshi Kon about a pop idol that decides to become an actress as well, and one fan that is like doesn't like the decision and like it
Decides to try and murder her. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Stalks
but-
her. Yeah.
Yes, but like
When I was young, a little bit less fussy about the cold, I
So,
used
Joey-
to go up to Long Meg and her daughters a stone circle.
as take a little bit and he like this sounding nice. Okay,
I've heard good things about mushrooms.
as in a hallucinogenic or like a food item.
Hallucinogenic. I don't think he was eating shiitake to introduce Samhain.
I never tried. I never tried to like hallucinogenics as it were. But like Joe, you're a big horror movie fan. So what are your, some of your favorites were? Because like the only Nightmare on Elm
How do you
Street
feel
I
about the
thought-
big franchises like Jason and Freddy, or are you more into like the horror Hammer films, or do you go in for indie shit? Do you like slashers or?
I probably should see the horror Hammer film. So at least for like nothing else than like Christopher Lee or something like that, and Peter Cushing's was in like in some of them as well.
Oh yeah, they shared the screen a couple of times. I mean the thing is, you have to be wary about revisiting the classics. It's like going back and watching Cheers. You can see what they were doing, but later sitcoms did it better just because they were building on what came before. You know. You go back and watch Three's Company, and he's like, "Oh, this is the episode where there's a misunderstanding."
It's interesting. Three's Company is kind of like strangely enough, for its time, I mean, it's not perfect in any ways.
Mm.
Kind of queer friendly, even
Oh,
though.
very queer friendly. The late 70s were super duper queer friendly in sitcoms.
Mhm.
Oh God, I don't remember the name of
So,
the YouTuber. There's a YouTuber out there who explores sitcoms. He's queer, and he explores the queer history of sitcoms, and he adores the late 70s. And even, shows like Golden Girls and so on for their acceptance. And he
yes.
deplores the early 80s because the Reagan backlash.
It was the Reagan backlash as well too.
But I mean, like All in the Family, Three's Company, all of those things were so progressive. So I mean, they weren't. I mean, they were incredibly well written. They were groundbreaking for their time in so many ways. It's just that it's been 50 years. So
yeah.
you're excavating, and it's going to be like watching Abbott and Costello. Who's on first isn't groundbreaking anymore.
Yeah.
Bugs Bunny, Once Upon a Time, him walking up to Elmer Fudd and saying, "Hey, what's up, Doc?" was fucking hilarious to adults.
Yeah.
And now it's so cliche we don't even realize it's supposed to be funny. But it's just the way of the world.
It is. I'm the same way. I don't really like a lot of violence in like horror movies, but like I did enjoy Hellraiser 2022. I heard good things about that one. I think well, especially with Clive Baker also did one called The Freaks as well too, where it's like an underground society of like just freaks. But then the main character kind of realized that, oh wait, he's a freak too, and so he like it then joins in, and the villains of like the movie was the is in Alabama, and so the sheriffs have the place as we're just like got like a gang together to like rule out these freaks as word too, and Clive Barker kind of like said to like as a gay man to be like only be yourself within the small tight knit community on the ground and been hated by everyone else. That's something that I wanted to that speaks to me and I wanted to show in the movie. And only the gay critics got that when they saw the movie Freaks. And God bless them, as like Clay Parker said, Clay Baker said. So I want to see like Clay Baker's like movies, like the first Hellraiser, probably the Hellraiser 2022, and definitely of like Freaks as well because of that. Clay Barker.
Clive Barker.
Yeah. Yeah. See, Joey's not a big franchise. The movies are kind of boring as it were. Yeah, I guess so. Well, if they're a small independent, then like they have to do the best with like what they can, like.
And then you have what is it, Wes Anderson? He has the budget, and he loves the genre, but because he's interacting with the big system, there's only so far he can go.
Yeah.
What's his name? Freddy 2? Nightmare on Elm Street 2 was pretty transgressive, I think. As I recall from Steve Shives' review of it, it was, or maybe not Steve Shives, it was James Summers. It was some YouTuber talking about how it was really, really gay and pro-gay.
Yeah.
Maybe. Or maybe it was just about the pain of being in the closet. How Freddy was a metaphor for that kind of nightmare.
Well, yeah, that's right. I think Georgia P. I think Lincoln did mention that about like Hellraiser 2022, which is why Lincoln really loves that movie too. Saying that trans woman actress with superpowers was awesome. Yeah, that's kind of cool. Freddy is fun, but like mostly because he's like funny. Yeah, I kind of like it. I can see that.
Which should be a problem because he's a pedophile.
Yeah, it's
like we're celebrating if Jared from Subway was also Louis C.K.
Yeah, like a good body, the horror life, the thing, or the fly. The Thing was an awesome movie, still as well. At least like John Carpenter.
Oh, I definitely can't watch. I don't like Cronenberg. I don't like gross stuff.
Yeah. History of Violence might. Oh, no.
I do like History of Violence, but that's a different kind of body horror.
Yeah.
That's not all of a sudden you have a new orifice in the middle of your chest and someone is fisting you. That was showing the horror of violence. It was. It was a deconstruction of a certain kind of. It was a deconstruction of Charlie Bronson, of
Yeah.
the 80s hero stuff. It just shows realistically the effects of violence, both physically and emotionally. It's like his family is almost destroyed because he's a violent guy. And there's also the possibility of it being passed down to his son. I mean, it's... Matt Baum, that's the one. Matt Baum is awesome. He does a lot. Norman Lear, the shows of the 70s. That's the one I was thinking of. Norman Lear did a lot of sitcoms in the 70s, and they were pretty fucking queer inclusive. And Norman Lear was himself pretty on top. What's his name? The guy who played Gomer Pyle in the Andy Griffith Show. I'm pretty sure he was gay.
No, the name escapes me. Zord. So,
nobody knows his name. Everybody knows him as Gomer Pyle. But he was gay, and he lived his life out in a loving relationship with his partner.
I mean, the sitcom from the late 70s, Soap, had an openly gay character. And I mean, that show had to be like shown at like 10 p.m. at night, though. But like, Soap, openly gay character.
I mean, the 70s were so fucking gay, which is why I think America hates the 70s. Disco. Disco was so fucking queer.
Yeah.
Four to the floor. It was just people getting out there and dancing. And because it wasn't partner dancing, partners could get out there and dance together. And it was so black. And there's a reason why white America went out and just piled up the albums on the middle of a fucking baseball diamond and burned them. It's because it was black and queer. And, it's unfortunate that it was so tied up in the drug culture, too. But, I mean, the drug culture was also an exploration. I recommend... not Embrace the Void in this case, but Philosophers in Space. Aaron Rabinowitz, friend of the show, and Kelly Wright did a lot of discussion of the Psychonauts. People like Philip K. Dick, who did a shit ton of drugs back in the 60s and 70s. And they explored these different mindscapes and these different possibilities, and they paid the price for it because drugs take a toll. But they also opened up new realms of possibility. Of exploration.
Jim Natters.
Neighbors.
Very good humans were. We're like a Eraserhead, even though that movie gets me a little bit of an anxiety attack. I can't imagine with Eraserhead.
Let's see. Eraserhead, is that one of... is that a Cronenberg?
Maybe. It could be.
No, that's Lynch. Lynch is another guy.
David Lynch.
I mean, no, he's very much an existentialist philosopher kind of filmmaker.
Oh yeah.
The only one I've seen of his that I really remember is Blue Velvet.
Oh yeah, that one.
That poses a very stark contrast between Eros and Agape in terms of love, because the main character, played by Kyle MacLachlan, he's sort of contraposed between these two women. The older woman who is a victim of horrific abuse by a mobster, seduces him and takes comfort in him in a physical way. And he has his teenage paramour. When he confesses his love to her, there's no physical contact. It's pure emotional contact. Yeah. And I have my problems with that, especially given that the older woman is horrifically a victim and the idea that sex is somehow degrading. But it is an exploration that's worth having, but it's the only one of his I remember. I've never watched Twin Peaks. Twin Peaks.
Yeah. The only David Lynch film I've seen, which even he doesn't recognize that he made, was a 1986 Dune movie as horror.
Oh wait, I have seen that one.
I'm not saying it's a great movie.
I mean, that is a Psychonaut kind of movie, and it's and a miniseries is what it deserves.
Yeah.
A high budget, high concept, surreal, magical realism kind of miniseries, because it is so deeply invested in symbolism, Freudian and Jungian symbolism. It's not something that you can do in 3 or even 6 hours.
Yeah, I agree.
Even with
Hey,
Sting.
Even with Patrick Stewart was also in that movie.
He was in there too, but yeah.
But no, Sting in the song, and then like also there's just like overacting and hamming up to the hell. I will kill him. That's the whole. That's all. That's all I remember a bit more, but that's all I took away from it. Honestly.
So much of that movie is, so much of the book is internal.
Mhm.
So much of it is thought, of consideration, of reflection. It is very much a Psychonaut movie. It's not. I don't know if you ever could translate it to big screen or small, just because it's so reflective. I mean, there's a Scanner Darkly. I mean, they did a good job of that. I mean,
Oh,
maybe.
I want to see that movie. I think I did
They covered that in Philosophers in Space too. That was part of their Psychonaut thing.
Nice. I think I did see one movie of like David Lynch. I want to confirm that like he directed it before I say I've seen it. It's okay. IMDb, you're not helping me. Not quickly. Lost Highway. Lost Highway is okay. Yeah, Lost Highway was David Lynch. That was a strange movie.
Oh, I need to see
Very-
Mulholland Drive. That's really gay.
Oh yeah. I should see Mulholland Drive. I heard good things about that one as well.
Classic movies more, so I can get more inspired. Because I feel like I'm always a loner all the time, so I feel like I can like whenever I watch like classic movies, I kind of like think how could I make a movie that's kind of somewhat similar. I don't know. I have a different how I look at movies is different.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely.
I mean,
some,
there is a value to being well versed in the current language of cinema, but there's also a value in being an outsider.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Take a look at shit. Let me look up the name. Director of Bottle Rocket.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know that one.
Bottle Rocket was an indie film that starred the Wilson brothers. That's a Wes Anderson film.
Oh.
I'm thinking of a different Wes Anderson. Who directed Friday the 13th? I might have gotten the name wrong.
What's that Friday, like the movie, like the Ice Cube movie?
Let's see. Let's go with Scream, because I know that's the author I'm thinking of. That's Wes Craven. Okay, Wes Craven was the horror director.
Yeah, no, he did Scream.
Wes Anderson was the ignorant ass white guy who decided to write a movie and didn't know how to write a movie and ended up getting to make a movie with Bottle Rocket. So you can be a guy who loves this shit and is deeply steeped in it, like Kevin Smith. Or you can be a guy who is enthusiastic and an outsider, like Wes Anderson. I don't know that Wes Anderson has done much since the Royal Tenenbaums.
I see a couple of like Wes Anderson's like films. So like let's see, not the most recent one that he did, but Isle of Dogs.
Poison, The Wretchcatcher, The Swan. He's done stuff. You know, I mean, he's been around. I haven't heard of most of this shit.
I've
Isle
seen
of Dogs.
Life Aquatic of Steve Zissou, I think, is one of them as well.
His last big hit looks like Fantastic Mr. Fox, and that looked like it 8 years later was riding on Royal Tenenbaums.
That probably was his worth. Honestly, I can like see. Well, I did see Royal Tenenbaums after like Life Aquatic Steve Zissou. It's pretty much the same movie, honestly, just like with different characters. So you can like say that like he's riding the high off of Rushmore, Royal Tenenbaums, and like just making the same movie over and over again. But you know what? Dan Askin of like Injudo Studios did say that Guillermo del Toro pretty much makes the same movie.
You mean Guillermo del Toro?
Guillermo del Toro made the same movie 4 times in like The Devil's Backbone,
Pan's Labyrinth,
Pan's Labyrinth,
Monster
Crimson
Fish
Peak.
Fuck.
Yes. Shape of Water.
Yes. I mean, the thing is, it was exploring it from different angles with different people.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you
it
can
is.
devote yourself to learning the language of cinema, and that is a way to go. But that's not the only way to go. You could be a thoroughly idiosyncratic guy if you are brilliant enough that you can write a screenplay and produce a vision powerful enough to break through the bullshit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you could go both ways. You could work on your idiosyncratic thing while also learning the language and playing the game.
So yeah, you can definitely go.
As a black man, you're not going to be given the opportunities that Wes Anderson was given.
There's that. But there's something to. I think there's something to be said about like different people behind the director's chair, different people in like the writers' room, if they're allowed into the writers' room, if they're allowed into the director's show, it's like valuable as well too, because like. We white people are not going to know everything or see everything and tell every story as well too. So,
and there's something to be said for, given that you'll never be given the opportunities Wes Anderson was given, doing the YouTube thing.
Sure. Again, like
if you could build up a cadre like Steve Shives has, yeah. You could get yourself some friends. You could or build up a studio. I mean. It'll be difficult. It'll be short. It'll be not nearly the quality you want, but it could be something you could do, and it would give you freedom. And if you're good enough and lucky, you could build a following.
Mm-hmm.
You have paths, is all I'm saying. You have options.
Yeah, but like I said with Clive Barker's, where he is a gay man, so he had like interesting perspective from his lived experience that he was trying to translate it and tell in Freaks, this word too, and the gay critics that watch that got it, as it were.
Mm-hmm.
And well, it's like, and not everyone has to like get it, but you can hope that like people do get it. So yeah.
What if you did like a Blair Witch thing, but just as a black man? In real life America.
Well, obviously, the.
Let's get out.
Well, no, without the surreal horror elements, without the supernatural,
they just can't die. They just can't die first. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what if you did a documentary style Blair Witch thing where you're just a black man walking down the street,
watching. Go by watching.
That would be something.
And just let white people see how you get harassed just by random people.
I mean, like,
documenting the annoyance of everyday life would be a trial. So
yeah,
and that's not necessarily what you're trying to do, Ensign.
I mean, there is like a visual novel. I think like most of it's free. Is where it's like A Night at Hot Springs, or like it stars a trans woman going to a hot springs with like her friend. Some of my trans friends said like were streaming this had to stop streaming it, and not only because like for the audience members, the other trans friends in the audience, it was too close to home for them, but also just playing the game for the transfers, it's too close to home to them too. They ever get so hit in the feels. It's just like, I've been in that situation, and it gets too real, so they have to stop streaming this. Where that can be some folks' reaction to that kind of like style of movie, a documentary.
Just for those who don't know, Night at the Hot Springs. A young trans woman is invited by a friend to go to the hot springs where you would wear a bathing suit.
Yeah. And it takes place, it's in Japan too, which actually, good news, it's a little bit of good news at least. Japan has just passed that they're like, let me find the like article as well, but it just passed like now you no longer have to be sterile if you want to like transition in Japan as well too.
Woof.
Yeah,
that is a big step. It's an unfortunate step, but it's a big step.
But like I want to like I think it's like here, but there is a caveat that like someone points it out as like the initial denial that like losses over in the headlines. The court struck down the sterilization requirements, but not the compulsory bottom surgery, which is one major reason that like numbness platelet brought her case in the first place is now been sent back to the lower court. So the Japanese Supreme Court struck down like, no, you do not have to be like actually require sterilization to transition as were, but they want you to do bottom surgery, which is
expensive, difficult, painful, and it's fucking surgery. It's major fucking surgery.
Yes. And then there's some trans women that like don't feel the need to get it because like they're happy with the parts that they have too. For some, they want that absolutely, and just getting that in most of the countries, except for maybe like New Zealand or other places. Well, I don't know. Actually, I do have a New Zealand friend that can like share her experiences as if she wants to or part of this. But like it's still this like surgery requires like the insurance and like to like do the bureaucracy and that sort of thing too.
It is at the very least months, if not years, of effort.
Yes. Regardless of where you are, then like so yeah, but yeah. So at least minor good news in like Japan. One small step, but like still is big. But like that's the connection to like a Nine Hot Springs. Yeah, that was actually brought up in like the visual novel that like for Haru, the main character, to be able to like transition as where she did at the time had to be sterilized, and so yeah. But yeah, that's why like playing Nine Hot Springs or even watching Nine Hot Springs for some trans women, it's too real. But with that said, we have now gone over the 90 minutes marks. And,
yes, we have.
Isaiah Taylor, you put up some new videos on your YouTube channel since there's intelligence.
Yeah, I did. It's about this speaking of Japan, it's about this Japanese serial killer named Sumo Miyazaki.
Oh my God, white girl. Serial killer. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Avril.
Then on Halloween, I'm gonna try. So right after this session, I'm gonna start working on my special Halloween story, which is about the Björk stalker, the guy who wanted to kill Björk, the singer.
Björk.
Yeah. So you that's on your Sensor Intelligence YouTube channel. You also have the other YouTube channel, Autistic Modeling Society.
I'm gonna go back and make some more videos. Hopefully, I can have one by for December. But next year, I'm gonna be like putting all my like models and cosplay on that channel. So.
And some of your models and cosplays can be seen on your Instagram at like Isaiah 60, if I'm correct on that.
Yeah, and I was able to sync my phone too, so I now have that. So yep, we can do that.
Yep. I'm also on Instagram, but I completely forgot that I'm on Instagram because like I don't do photos. It's like if I do Instagram, I'm gonna share memes. Honestly, I should do more of that. Honestly, just like take memes from Joyfire Lame Deer on like Facebook and share it on Instagram as well, or just share Joyfire Lame Deer's Instagram post or something like that. And so I watched Isaiah's video on that last night. So creepy. I'm a Summer Geek. So yeah, speaking of Summer Geek, I am on Instagram, but I don't use it, so you can find me there if you want. But I am Summer Geek on Blue Sky. I got a couple more invites to Blue Sky, so I have to figure out if like anyone wants it who is not already on my Blue Sky. So I'll just like ask around, or if anyone here can like hit me up either in the Discord or like wherever. Do you have?
I'm on Reddit. I follow like autistic threads on Reddit, and like the support for cops and capitalism is like vastly negative.
That's good. Yeah, that's good. I was hoping that would be the case. And knowing Reddit is like could be either or, but like with the Black Autistic group, it's like I mentioned that like it's very negative against cops. I'm not on Reddit.
Just like autistic people across the board.
Okay, I can imagine that
because autistic people have morals.
Yes, and Summer Geek is not on Reddit. I don't use it often, but I am on YouTube. I haven't posted a video in months, though. Who knows when we'll get back around to it. I'm working 12-hour days, 6 days a week. Maybe I'll take a Sunday off from streaming, as it were. Then, like, maybe I'll edit a lot of videos. But speaking of which, I will be like streaming after I get off this call on Twitch. I probably will read the next article in the history in the series on like a history of Palestine, because last week I covered the Nakba and the Mandate years. And unless I don't know what I'm going to be covering next in the next article, but I'm not sure. I'm sure it's not going to be pleasant. It doesn't work too. And I'm probably going to play some games afterwards after I've done the reading. But John Brockman, you're part of another podcast, aren't you?
Indeed, I am. Although we're not recording tonight, our DM is sick, and I was sick last week, so it's been a while. But we are gearing up for a wedding. Between a very unwilling guy and a young woman who seduced him. And his family is railroading him into the marriage. And I'm railroading him into the marriage because it's funny. All right, but the wedding is coming up. So that's going to be a heck of a lot of fun. DungeonsandDebacles.com. See you around, everybody.